You go to sleep on the 31st of December 2020 and wake up the next day, but when you check your phone, it says January 1st, 2020. After the first couple of days you realize it's just like Groundhog Day. What do you do with the information you have about 2020?
Well, the cancer was probably already terminal, so I'd just try to see my mom before all the flights were cancelled.
I'm sorry to hear. Tell Nevada to start counting mail-in ballots before the election day.
Download Firefox. Sell all the stocks in February and buy Tesla calls in March.
Invest in toilet paper companies.
Invest in Zoom.
Invest in Zoom, the penny stock. Had a way bigger increase in evaluation because people didn't know that it wasn't the real Zoom.
I almost made that exact mistake. Smile.
Start a Twitch/YouTube channel that predicts 2020 accurately and have everyone think I'm Nostradamus.
But would altering one event prevent others from happening?
Events like storms can't be prevented.
Not unless a butterfly flaps its wings.
So you're saying we should kill all the butterflies? Good.
Save 2021. Kill all butterflies.
Show my husband just how much I love him and appreciate him. Hug him longer, kiss him harder, squeeze his warm hands, laugh with him, record his voice, take more pics of him and of us together, not sweat the small stuff, be silly with him, savor every meal he made me, stare into his eyes and marvel in their clarity and sparkle. Lay my head on his chest to hear his heartbeat every day. He died in May at age 31. I'd give anything to wake up tomorrow and see his bright blue eyes. Edit. Oh my goodness, I wrote this at about 3 a.m. and then went to sleep. I had no idea it was caused this much attention. Thank you to everyone who has commented, sent me well wishes and love, and thank you for all of the lovely awards. Not sure I deserve so much kindness, but I sure as hell appreciate it. He left our house walking, talking and smiling back at me as he got into the ambulance, and less than 24 hours later I felt his heart stop under my hand. He was already sedated when I arrived at the hospital, so I'm not even sure he knew I was there, but I pray he did. No one deserves to think they are dying alone. He was the light of my life, my best friend, and I miss him more than even I can comprehend. Don't sweat the small stuff, folks. In the end, it rarely ever matters. Peace and love to you all.
I am so sorry for you and for her. Sending you hugs.
I'm gonna be real sad because I just spent the year losing a ton of weight and I don't want to start over.
Congrats, man. Don't worry, I think Groundhog Day only happens to people making a mess of their lives.
So why hasn't it happened to me yet? Liar.
Get a haircut in February.
I got one on March 12th. I felt like a genius.
I thought during that week it can wait till next week. It couldn't.
I intentionally delayed because of the pandemic. You see, I had this mistaken idea that we'd be in lockdown for a couple weeks, it'd go away, and we could go back to normal. I usually get a haircut once every 3 to 4 weeks. After 3 months, I finally bought a pair of clippers and ended up buzzing my hair. It's been buzzed since about May. I don't like the look of it at all, but it's way more comfortable than just letting it grow.
I haven't had my hair cut since February. Getting pretty long now. I missed the boat on long hair in my teenage years, so I'm using this opportunity to have a midlife crisis.
Back up 4.5 years of PhD research, data before an accidental wipe removed all of it back in February. And hashtag X200B. Edit, wow, this blew up. Thanks for the kind people giving awards. I'm trying to respond to all the comments. But one thing I'll just mention here. Most of the data lost was work I published by then, so it would have been nice to keep the codes, but losing them wasn't a major loss. But one work was unpublished. Thankfully it was recent, so I was able to rewrite the code from memory and publish it 2 months ago. So the damage was mostly controlled. Thankfully, my professor is a very considerate person and didn't get pissed off as much as he could have. And now I back up everything religiously, so lesson learned without significant lasting damage, thankfully. And hashtag X200B. Second edit, since my comment confused people, I'll explain what happened. It needed to upgrade the PC's firmware, and asked me to back up everything before giving it to them, since they would wipe the HDD. I copied everything to Dropbox, and once it copied only the subfolders, for some reason gave the green tick mark that means copying was done, so I didn't double check and just gave it to them. I realized what happened later on, and by then they wiped the PC and turned the bits, so it was unrecoverable. Since my fiasco, it enacted the policy that they will always back up the HDD of any PC before wiping it.
Ong. I'm wiped reading this. Pulling for you.
Thanks. But most of the work was already published, but it would have been nice to keep the source code. There was one unpublished work that was wiped, but I managed to rewrite it from memory, and got that published 2 months ago thankfully. But definitely a lesson for the future.
Jesus, rewriting an entire paper from memory is extremely impressive. I can't even remember what half my code does 2 months out, despite being very verbose with comments.
Invest in Zoom, toilet paper, hand sanitizer. Hang out with people while I still can. Not take the little things for granted.
Greater than not take the little things for granted. Erectile dysfunction must really suck.
I don't have an award to give baguette. Here's a baguette edit. Thanks, kind strangers. I can now afford to give the silver award. No, erectile dysfunction. Floppy disk. Here's a floppy disk. Edit. Please no more awards. Donate those $3 to a local food bank instead of a Chinese conglomerate.
I'd tell my dad to go see his doctor. He got his cancer diagnosis in May. Might have had a better shot if they'd found it in January. Edit. Thank you so much for your well wishes, kind words and shiny badges, friends. I'm sorry for not replying to everyone, but it's nearly 3 a.m. now and I'll head to bed. My dad is the most stubborn optimist, and I'll just follow his lead. Thanks again, and I hope the kindness you've shown me tonight comes back to you.
I'm telling this guy about his dad in hopes of saving him.
I love this comment.
Don't have sex with so-and-so because they have herpes. I'd probably go to California and just tell a couple what gender their kid would be. I can't stop a pandemic, but I can halt a wildfire. Edit. Thank you everyone for the awards. Much appreciated.
As a Californian, this would be very appreciated.
Oregon also sends their appreciation.
And Washington State.
And squirrels.
I'd cry, invest, reset, repeat.
TP stonks. Edit. Holy shit, haha. I woke up this morning to a bazillion Reddit notifications on my phone and had a NXIETY. Thanks for all the upvotes and awards, you awesome weirdos. Less than 3.
Actually, you'd be far better off with a few penny stocks. I suggest getting into COD, Novaseat, and a few others prior to their breaking 30 cents. I was watching others in February, but was too chicken shit to jump on them. Hit me up at the tail end of February and I'll hook you up. Edit. Well, at least my top-rated comment isn't my drawing attention to a puppy penis in a slash or post anymore.
Or options. I'd buy as many cools Onsler as I could afford. I'd sell all my shit and use it to buy as many options as possible and i.e. over-leverage myself.
FASSounds puts on everything starting February 20th that expire at end of March, sell off March 21st. Then on March 20th load up on FASSounds calls on everything, 2 to 3 months out, 6 months out, 9 months out. Easily take $1,000 and turn it into tens of millions.
Basically it's for puts. Greater than Tesla calls, greater than billionaire.
Off to New Zealand.
This is literally my exact situation. I'm an American who happened to take a 4-month trip to New Zealand this past January. My flight home got cancelled because of COVID and I'm still in NZ today. Just got my work visa approved and will be here until November 2021. Still can't really believe how lucky I got.
Fuck, that's so dope.
His plants back home are fucked though.
This is the canonical explanation for the TP hoarders.
Oh, man. Everybody was complaining about them, but now we know their secret.
They all had chronic inflammatory bowel diseases and finally saw the chance to buy hundreds of dollars worth of TP without it seeming odd. Or they're secretly a part of an underground group of people who are addicted to ping neighborhood front yards.
I would go to the doctor in early January to check on my kidneys. Maybe we could save them.
I am sorry. How are you doing now?
Thanks for asking. I'm tired, all the time. I have no energy for either school, spending time with friends or simple stuff like cooking or cleaning. I'm about to drop out / pause my studies to move back home so I can focus on my health. I thought I could handle school, but I can't frown. And to clarify, I have some special chronic kidney disease called AS at stage 5, so I have to do dialysis until I get a new kidney.
I wish you can find a donor and all works out well.
Thank you, D.
You Swedish? My wife needs a kidney and we might be able to swap donors. I can't give to her. I'm more than happy to give you mine if you find one for her.